This is the Jocko Underground podcast number 223. Sitting here with Echo Charles. We have some questions from the front lines, from the trenches. Yep. And we will provide some answers, if possible. If not, some recommendations. And at a minimum, we will provide some courses of action that you can take to move you in the right direction on the path.
Yep. Also, too, it's of benefit to know that if you have a question, specific or general, all you got to, and you want them answered on this outfit, send your question, email your question to questions@jockounderground.com.
There you go. The word has been spoken.
Here's a tip. This is a good tip, insider tip. Don't make it super long. If you make it like medium to short, that's going to be beneficial in many ways.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, fair enough. But you have to provide enough context.
Yeah, exactly right. But sometimes, a lot of times when they get long, it's like it's details that are less relevant to the concept of the question, you know? Because a lot of these questions, I mean, I get it. Like, these are all personal, like, things that happen to us as individuals. But the idea and the concept of the question applies to many, many people. You see what I'm saying? So, in that spirit.
Fair enough.
You know, keep it brief. Keep it simple. I learned that one time, you know, this thing called the 4 Laws of Combat. Simple. It's one of those deals. All right. First question. I don't want to complain, but some days I feel like I'm losing my sanity and at my breaking point. Working a job where the customers, coworkers, and a boss that are coming at me all day, every day with their problems. Driving in rush hour traffic, where there is certainly going to be 2 to 3 accidents that make the commute take forever. Going home to a family I love dearly, but have a whole list of problems themselves, among other things. I ask because you guys always seem so good to go, as you say. I understand the principles: detach, check your ego, trust, influence, listen, respect, and care, balance, etc. I apply them every day to my life. I believe I shoulder a lot of the problems because I've always been steady and reliable. Training Jiu Jitsu is the only thing that seems to keep me sane at the moment. Hell yeah. My question comes down to, what is the protocol when life just starts to feel exhausting, when the problems don't seem to let up? Do you guys ever feel this way? I really appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like you're getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
And by getting after it, I mean, it sounds like you're getting after it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're getting after it when you don't want to be getting after it. This is the way life is sometimes. And, you know, obviously there's like, hey, you know, sometimes you just got to suck it up and power through, right? Obviously, we know that. We get it. You get it. You're doing that. Here's the thing. It sounds like you've been doing it for a while. And after too long of a while, you have to recognize that this is not what we're doing. This is not what life is supposed to be, right? Look, I would say it's unsustainable, but I'm sure you actually could sustain it if you had to, right? If people can go in a prisoner of war camp for 7 years eating, you know, bugs, you know, we can sustain a lot. But there's a difference between needing to bear a lot because there's no other choice in the world, like you're in a prisoner of war camp, and bearing a lot because you're kind of stuck, right? You're stuck and you're not making a change. So at this juncture, what I would be doing if I were you is I would be trying to come up with a long-term strategy to change your situation. I don't know what kind of industry you're in. I can tell you that every industry is going to have customers, coworkers, and bosses that are coming at you all day with different problems. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, but maybe you don't particularly like this industry. Maybe you don't particularly like the type of people in this industry, because there are different types of people in different types of industries. So the problems are a little bit different. Maybe you don't like these types of problems. Maybe there's something else that you could do that has less interaction with people. Or better, you're engaged with better people that you get along with more. So is there an industry or is there a job that you look at, you go, man, I'd really like to do that? You know, I one day I was building a wall in my backyard, And I told my wife, hey, when I get out of the Navy, I'm going to become a mason. I'm going to be a bricklayer.
Oh, yeah.
Because the bricks don't really like interact with you. You know, you put the brick there, it's going there.
Yeah.
And when you put the brick where it's supposed to be, the brick is where it's supposed to be. People are very, you know,
They're not like that.
They're not like that.
No.
You tell a person to go there, bro, we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're thinking. There's all kinds of chaos going on. And so having been in the military and just interacted with people for so long, I was like, oh yeah, when I get out, when I retire from the Navy, I'm going to become a mason. I'm just going to lay block, carry bricks, lay block, carry bricks. That's what I'm doing. Now, I ended up, you know, getting involved with even more people when I got out of the Navy. But you need to look around and say, okay, what job can I get into that will get me in a better situation, something that I enjoy more? So, and by the way, while you're doing that, find something that's going to mitigate your commute. Because look, some people don't mind driving. JP Donnell, he'll be like, oh yeah, I got a events in so-and-so. And I'd be like, oh cool, what time's your flight? Oh no, I'm driving. It's a 12-hour drive. He just gets on the road and drives. He likes driving. He likes it. Dude, I get kind of frustrated when I got to drive 8 minutes to go to a nice restaurant. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, you know what? Maybe can we just order it? You know what I mean? That's where I'm at.
Okay.
So if you're getting traffic and you got 2 to 3 accidents and you don't know what time you're getting home, like that's a problem. Find some kind of a job or some kind of a location where you don't have to do that. So that's what you need to do. You need to come up with a plan right now. And look, this might take a year. This might take 18 months. You got to get some kind of schooling. You got to get some kind of training. You got to put your resume out there. But if you're that miserable in your current job, you got to make a change. And maybe you just got to go some entry level position somewhere. Again, I don't know your financial situation, but there's all kinds of companies you go work for and you can move up through the ranks. Home Depot, go kick ass at Home Depot. You can move up the ranks. Walmart, go kick ass at Walmart. These are companies that hire from within. I meet people from companies like this, Costco, In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, people that started there, you know, as a stock boy. And now they're a store manager. Again, entry-level positions, entry-level construction positions. Be a laborer. Work 12 hours a day. You know, you got to figure out what it is you want to do. Look, you know, go be a laborer for an electrician or a plumber. Go see what that's like. Those are skills you can learn. And those, again, these are all just options. I don't know sure what you like doing. But if you hate what you're doing right now, you got to figure out a way to stop doing the thing that you're hating doing. So changing your job over the next 12 to 18 months is a strategic move that you need to look into. And again, I don't know what you have for, you say you love your family. I don't know what you have for kids. I don't know what you have for a mortgage. I don't know what you owe for rent. I don't know if the kids are taking ballet lessons that cost $300 a month. Like, this could be problematic. Maybe then what you got to look at is how can you minimize the commute? Is there somewhere you can move? Can you get a different job in the same industry that's a little bit closer? You got to figure something out, dude, because you shouldn't be in this kind of breaking point scenario. And part of, look, you can make it through a longer time, a breaking point, as long as you know, hey, look, I got a plan. I'm coming up with a plan. I'm going to get out of this. The other thing I'll mention that, since you mention it, is that you say you are steady and reliable. And what that means is people can count on you. And what that means, if you're not careful, you can be taken advantage of. And you end up being responsible for things that you don't have the capacity for, or you're taking away from your own self and family because other people are counting on you to do things for them. And you're not able to move forward. You're not able to study for a new job. You're not able to get your resume out there because you're too busy putting out fires around you that all these other people are bringing into your world. Echo Charles is a master of not being involved in other people's stuff. Yes or no, Echo Charles?
Yes, sir.
Confirmed?
Accurate. Confirmed.
Like, there's some stuff you go, oh no, that's not your thing.
Yeah.
Echo Charles does not do this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Echo Charles is not required for this.
Yes, Echo Charles is not required for this scenario. You know, no one's got your number on speed dial for random stuff. Like I there's some people that go, So that is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms, so we are not subject to their control. And we are doing this so that we can support the Jocko podcast, which will remain as is, free for all, as long as we can keep it that way. But we are doing this so we don't have to be under the control of sponsors. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us. And to do that, we're building a website right now where we'll be able to utilize to strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's jockounderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@jockounderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.